had somebody reach out to us regarding a milk bank. I'm like,
A milk bank?
a milk bank. It was RM Children. It was a milk bank in Colorado. It
Like milk? What kind of milk?
baby's milk. So listen to this. This is wild,
Wait,
right?
wait, hold on.
Yeah,
Whoa,
yeah,
whoa,
here, hear
whoa.
me out. Hear me
Take
out.
a
I'll tell you.
step back.
Yeah, hold on. I'm
Wait.
gonna tell you.
We're
I'm
not
gonna
talking
tell
about
you.
cow milk here. We're
Yeah,
talking
this is
about.
wild. And then I'm gonna tell you what we built around it. We built an
Hey,
amazing.
but wait, hold on, just stop. Where's the milk coming from?
It comes from mothers.
Wait, so wait a minute. You're going too fast with this. Let me just say, so they're milking moms.
I don't know if that. Well, I never got into the actual process of how the milk was
Well,
acquired.
no,
I don't know.
because I mean, I think that's really important. If
Yeah, well, I
being
don't know. I'm
fine.
sure. I'm sure certain mothers were brought in and they donated milk, or they got paid. That part I was never involved on that side of it. But
Oh,
here's the deal: some mothers cannot produce milk, so a doctor will prescribe mother's milk.
I got you now. So
Yeah,
so basically they want to get the natural milk from
yeah,
a mother
that's
to a
exactly
mother
it.
that's unable to
Yeah.
produce milk versus
So I
formula
mean,
milk.
I had to look this up. I'm like, is this a scam? Was the first thing that pumped into my head. I'm like, I never heard of this. No, it was a
I mean
legitimate
I
business.
see the reasoning of why it definitely needs to be done, but like you just threw a major curveball. Like
I
just
know, I know. I still tell the story.
like
And
I was like, I
they
have
turned
some
out,
interesting clients, but that never
yeah, no, they
that
turned out to be a
can't
great
touch
group of
that one.
people, an amazing group of people. We worked together for years, and then they just moved on to somebody else. There was a change in leadership. But here's what we built for them that was amazing, right? They had a WooCommerce website. They had a WordPress site with WooCommerce on it. Um, but they were lacking a lot of features. So we were able, and look, this is where freaking Woo just shines, right? So the first thing we had to do is we had to give the buyer the ability to upload a script
Okay.
because again, it's prescribed, right? The other issue
What
was,
about HIPAA compliance? It doesn't need to be HIPAA?
that was not an issue at the time.
I guess not because
They never,
it's not the drug
yeah, no, you're
administration.
right.
Not
You're
gonna
right.
enforce.
It never really came up at the time.
Okay, I don't think
No,
that's a
to make
yeah.
Woo, no, to make Woo HIPAA compliant, it isn't out of the box. Uh,
Well, no, the only reason it has to be HIPAA compliant is if they have to provide personal information such as Social Security, medical records, those type
yeah,
of things. So if you don't, it's just
I
more or
got
less,
you.
yeah.
I got you. And then
Right?
there's also you need to be on a HIPAA compliant hosting company, which is a nightmare because
Oh yeah,
there's so many layers of security. Uh,
yeah.
because we have a couple of clients we host on HIPAA hosting, and it's just like every time we have to work on these sites, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like you got to jump 10 loops just to do a small update.
Yeah.
So they needed the ability to well, first they needed the ability to have people register, and then once they logged in, they got a set of products that were dedicated to them.
Okay.
They could purchase those products, upload their script, and then they would pick a time for pickup because they couldn't just like bring
Oh
milk
yeah.
from the back and like let it sit there
Fresh
from the
milk.
front.
Wait, so is it more like a local, like a local city kind of thing, where they have
So
like X
so
amount of
there yeah,
customers?
so that's cool you asked that. So there was it's a hospital in Colorado, right? And they offer like three or four different options. One of those options was courier based. So if you live
Okay.
within a 50-mile radius, we customize Woo to show that courier pickup. And
No shit.
it would calculate the radius based on this, not the radius, yeah, the radius or the distance based on the source and say, yes, you're available for delivery.
Yeah, well,
And
that's pretty awesome.
yeah, with the Google Maps API, you can do all that stuff. And then um, another feature was the pickup time because what they would have to do is they would have to, I guess they used to freeze it. So they would have to bring it to the front to another refrigerator, but that refrigerator had like limited space on it. So they couldn't like bring all the orders as they were coming up. So that's why we had like time slots where they could fill for
Ah,
pickup.
gotcha.
And obviously you got to
That's a
track,
big project,
yeah,
man.
you got to track that, right? You